And good day, everyone. Welcome to Pro Golf Talk Live right here on TGD Today. I'm with the Professor, HR3, and I'm your host, George Honeycutt, and we are so happy to be with you today, guys. And my goodness, I've eaten some of the best biscuits I think I've ever had today. Did you enjoy yours?
I enjoyed both of them.
Oh, you had two.
I had two.
That away.
There's
Go after
one.
the buffet.
There's another one.
I'll get it.
If it's free, take three.
And we want to thank our brother, the Professor.
That's all right. Hey, you and I, because we've kind of had helping Dave back there a little bit with his fantasy picks.
Yeah.
We know who's going to be buying breakfast next week. So
Yes,
don't
we
worry.
do.
That's okay. That's all right. Y'all been back there cheating. That's fine.
Nobody's been
That's
cheating.
fine. Well, just to kind of give everybody a recap on our picks last week, and I'd like to do that right now if I could, please.
Of course you will.
Finishing in last place, a solid third, was Professor Weldon at plus 16. Well done.
Thank you.
In second was HR3, our resident pro, at plus 11. And the Godfather just happened to sneak in at plus 6. Only 10 shots better than your picks. So you were close, just not close enough. Okay?
Payback's hell.
How many tweets and little text messages did you get after the show Monday when HR and I spotlighted the fact that you got your backside reddened?
Way too many.
You just happened to be with me when a few of those came in.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You weren't a happy camper.
Just get healthy, start playing a little golf, and then you and I'll get even with him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just tip me over and see what falls out. That's what we'll play for.
That's exactly right.
I
Stand on your head and shake your pockets.
I get 8 on the front, 7 on the back.
Spot died.
Have you ever lost a bet?
Yeah, sure I have. Absolutely.
What, it was somebody that's actually a +2 that was
Yeah.
getting 14 shots?
Yeah.
Well, and let me add in, the dudes eat more crow than most raccoons out there.
That's true. Absolutely. You get good at it after a while. Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff, for putting that in there.
Don't miss
All
it.
right. Pro Golf Talk. Watched the tournament this morning, boys, from Singapore. The ladies are over there dealing with some, not only a difficult golf course, but some difficult weather conditions. The wind was really whipping this morning. And then all of a sudden, it just started pouring. And they had some heavy rains, rain sideways. But to watch some of these girls navigate that golf course, you got 5 under par, leading this thing, Candy Kung, and she was just missed consistency, just hitting greens, making putts. Whenever she was confronted with a 30, 40 mile an hour headwind, she played wide side of the golf courses. She didn't try to go after greens. She was just playing solid golf. And I always rail back to what you say, HR, about course management and watch these girls. For us amateurs especially.
For the average golfer, you learn so much more about how to play golf and make it enjoyable. You instead of trying to be like Phil and just pull off some miracle shot, play smart. And it's like I tell the kids when I'm teaching them, learn to play play fairway to green, but when you play into the green, always play fat and try to work the ball to the flag.
Right.
Quit shooting at every pin. You got a wedge in your hand or a 9-iron, okay. But other than that, play smart. If you give yourself 15 feet on every hole, you're going to play a solid round of golf.
Well, folks, be sure to – I'm sorry, Gene, while he was just mentioning that, I wanted to mention to our viewers and our listeners, be sure to check in and stay with thegolfdirector.com. I've asked Hugh sometime in the next couple of weeks to kind of put together a show. I want him to go back into the course management realm, especially where it talks about where he again addresses, and he's addressed this probably 5, 6, 7 times over the last couple of years. But watching the girls this morning, and then also kind of watching some of the other events that have gone on over the last couple of weeks, where you had very thick collars, very thick roughs, and then green surfaces that are 10, 11, 12 on the Stimpmeter. Watching the professionals, especially the women, in how they use a multiple variety of clubs. There was a ball up against the collar, and one of the players this morning, she pulled a putter out. She realized she's not going to be able to get a good strike on it. The ball's probably going to hop because she's going to hit down on that putter. And so she went back to the bag and got out her 3-wood. and she ended up striking the shot with a 3-wood, and she put it up to within a foot of the hole. Tapped in for par. She moved on. You know, I think if she would have tried to go at it with that putter, it probably hopped on her, come up 6 feet short. Then she's got a crosswind blowing her and the ball, and then she probably makes bogey.
It's a
So-
it's a good play, but for your average golfer, they need to practice that.
Oh,
shot.
heck yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
But
if
why
you're
not
gonna
add
use
that
it,
to your
make sure-
practice
yeah,
routine?
absolutely.
So I've asked Hugh to do a show specific to getting creative, and he uses that word a lot. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. So I'll even listen in. And I normally don't to him. So
I've
I'll
only been
listen
doing
in.
this show with you for about, 3 weeks now?
Yeah.
And I found out very quickly that Hugh's the smartest one on the panel.
Don't say that out loud. Doggone
Yeah,
it.
boy. Thank you very much.
Wow. Okay, whatever. All right, so the ladies, Minjee Lee is at 5 under. Suzanne Patterson, she finishes
That
the
would be
day
Patterson.
at
Is that the same?
Patterson.
Is that
Patterson?
Patterson.
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 He's from Noonan. You got to
Patterson.
excuse.
Patterson.
I'm from Muskogee
Patter-
County. He's
Patterson.
from Coweta.
Patterson.
Patterson.
Like paddle. How do you paddle a
Just patter.
paddle?
Just patter,
paddle
son.
a bicycle.
P-E-T-T. Patterson.
I'll leave that one to you. I'm
Okay,
gonna
we've
stay
given
away.
her enough airtime. Mia Zato is at 4 under. Leanne Pace is 4 under. MB Park. Guys, they just kept showing today Shin Shan Fang. No, Gene, I'm not going there.
Please don't.
Don't get us in trouble.
Oh,
George.
no. 3 under par for Shin Shan. And I don't know. If they keep showing her, I'm going to have to say something about it, probably on Monday Morning Golf Wrap. I don't know. But, again, I was very disappointed. 4 hours of coverage, and they showed Lydia Ko twice, #1 player in the world. And it was because the 2 girls that she was paired with weren't exactly spotlight players, and she wasn't, quote unquote, burning up the golf course, but they were definitely focused on the Asian players. So I assume it's because of where it is in Singapore. I assume, I thought about it as being maybe the primary sponsors of the event, but the primary sponsor is Jaguar. So, I mean, there's not an Asian influence there. So,
He's
but
starting to sound like Chris Rock.
yeah. Okay, whatever.
He couldn't resist.
Remember, I didn't watch that, so that wasn't on
I
my
had
viewing
to.
list for that night. I mean, wrestling was live that
Yeah.
night, so I had to watch that.
Yeah, I didn't have a
HSBC Women's Champion again in Singapore. Be sure to check it out. It's going to be all 4 days, early morning hours here on the East Coast in the U.S. as far as broadcasting, but just so much fun to watch. The golf course is phenomenal. The busiest harbor in the world, and it is neat watching some of those ships come in and out, and
yeah.
you get to watch a little bit of golf too.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun, a lot of fun to check out. So be sure to do that. All right, guys. I really want to jump on the WGC event down at Doral, Trump National. Of course, the Donald himself, the presidential candidate, is promised to make an appearance. So I sure hope he does. I want him to send me a personal thanks for my vote in the election. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I hope Leanne didn't hear that.
So let's go ahead and get going into this. Again, Doral, Blue Monster 2014, total renovation. Gil Hance did a few modifications to 7 holes for this year, primarily this after an interview with the likes of Sneds and a couple other golfers. He moved some bunkers. He elongated some bunkers, and they went ahead and let the rough, Bermuda rough, grow up to 2 inches minimum. There are some areas where it's 4 inches.
I mean, this is going to be a test this week, George, and the stuff that he's done. I watched Trip Eisenhower do a description of it the other day on the Golf Channel about how they've moved some of those bunkers and brought more water in and whatever. They've narrowed it for the longer hitter, and they've widened it a little bit for the average hitter, which is the Sneds and that of the and by I say average, you're still talking 290 to 300, but to carry a bunker, it's 310. And so they've made it to where the longer hitters, the Bubba Watsons, the J.B. Holmes, Dustin Johnsons, they're not getting the reward that they got before, because the guys that were 1, 2, and 3 last year were the 3 longest hitters on the tour.
Right.
So, they've made it to where it's kind of equalizing out the field. They've lengthened a couple of holes that used to be, the second hole used to be a driver and a wedge or a sand wedge. Now it's 488 yards. So I can't imagine the way the wind blows on that hole, how that's going to play. So it ought to be interesting, because it's a great golf course. It never was one of my favorites because, again, I was more of your, average hitter. And some of those things, you're back here hitting 3 irons where guys are hitting 8 irons, and you're going, can I play through? It lives up to its name. It is a monster.
The yardage they're going to be playing it at is 75-40 this week. 75-40. Gene, I get tired driving that far, much in a car at high speeds.
Well, the sad part is, George, if 18 turns into the wind, there's a lot of guys that can't get over the water to get to the fairway. I mean, I played there where I literally tried to hit it up the walkway.
Right.
Because you couldn't carry it. And you're only talking 250 yards. And that's nothing for anybody in normal conditions. It's no big deal.
Hopefully they'd move it up if they know the wind's going to be that strong.
Oh, no, they
No,
won't.
no,
No,
no.
not a chance.
No.
Mm-mm.
No. They've got that television tower. They know exactly this day's tees, this day's tees. They've got everything positioned just right for cameras.
I guarantee you,
Yep.
it's got to be at least 265 to carry, 70 to carry that thing now.
Well, remember last year, JB took one line and Dustin took another.
I remember that.
And Dustin decided to pull it left and go ahead and go over the water. And he basically, there was as much as a 70-yard variance between him and JB.
Well, it's a shorter route to the hole. It gives you a better angle. It's just a longer carry.
Yeah. Well,
That's where you want to be. You just can't. A lot of us can't get there.
And Dustin, in the interview afterwards, they said, what made you take that line? And he goes, well, I just had to stay committed because, frankly, when I lined up for the shot and then I looked up and realized I'm 45 yards out into the water, he goes, I just had to stay committed to it. So, I mean, for you to stand there on the 72nd hole and know that you're 45 yards into that water, as far as a shoulder and an eye line, man, that's ballsy. That's big kahunas right there.
When you can hit it as far as they can, you can get away with that kind of stuff.
I guess.
You look at the Snedekers of the world. They're going the other line to the right over there, and they're going to have a longer shot into that green.
Right.
Which is not easy.
Well, the first WGC event of the year, again, you got all the major players there. I mean, they're all there. The big hitters. Jason Day gets back in. Jordan Spieth gets back in. Henrik Stenson gets back in. Of course, you got returning champion Dustin. You've got Bubba. You've got, I think, one of my picks, and he's going to end up being probably one of the primary picks. You got the young guns like Justin Thomas that is there. So this is going to be a fun week, guys. I mean, we've made a turn around the corner on Washington Boulevard, and we're headed up to the gates at Augusta National.
Ready for it. I'm looking forward to that.
I mean, we're 4 weeks away.
Yep.
Okay. So, and these boys know it. This is it. This is really where, their timing comes into play. Do they pick the right tournaments? All right. It's like Stenson announced yesterday, he's not going to play in 2 of the other WGC events. He's not going to play Firestone. So just because of the Olympics and it being a President Cup, a Ryder Cup year. So the schedule this year has really started to make these guys step back and go, okay, how do I prep myself in getting ready for the 4 majors? Because we've got all these other extracurricular activities going on. Mm-hmm. So, all right then, as I promised off the air, Mean Gene, I'll start off. My first pick.
I'm straight across.
You want to do that? You want to go near? Okay. My first pick, I'm going to go ahead and step outside the box, and I'm going to take defending champion Dustin Johnson. He's my bomber. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, HR, who you got?
Dustin Johnson.
Okay. Gene? Here it comes. Luke Donald.
Corey Pavin.
Stinson.
Henrik Stenson for the professor. Wow. Good pick. Good pick.
Coming from you,
Ah.
I'm not sure that's a compliment.
I hope that corn on his foot has gotten better. You got to do your research there, Professor. All right, second pick for me, Justin Rose.
Good pick.
Okay, HR.
Stinson.
Wow.
You didn't hear about his toe either, huh?
Did you do some research, or are you just taking who Gene's got?
Nope.
Okay, all right, Professor. What do you gotta
Bubba.
you gotta get out your slide rule and
Bubba.
Bubba. Yeah. Wow. There's a surprise.
Yeah.
You
Bubba.
and Bigsy. All right. All right. My third. Wow. I've got to go with Justin Thomas.
That's actually a pretty good pick. Pretty good pick.
Yeah.
Who gave it to you?
He almost went as my dark. He almost went as my dark, but I've got a good dark, so I'm okay. HR?
Justin Rose.
Justin Rose. Wow. You really gotten creative with your picks today, bud. Gene?
They were picked long before you.
Oh, no, they weren't.
Nobody will have this one.
Well, nobody had Bubba.
Tons of people have Bubba. It just doesn't happen to you two.
Okay, all right.
Danny Willett.
Oh, man. You talking about stepping outside on the ledge.
That is not outside. Not on
Whoa,
the ledge.
Danny Willett.
Do your
Wow.
homework. That's not on the ledge.
Okay, we got to come up with darks. My dark is Jamie Donaldson.
That's not a dark.
That's a dark.
It's actually a good pick.
I-
So, again, who's
hold
helping you?
on. I hope you're recording this, Jeff. I really do.
You didn't catch my second part. Who's helping you pick?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Remember, Gene, I have no friends. Okay? You've been told that 100 times. Dark. All right, HR, pull one out.
Jason Day.
Wow.
Dark horse.
Wow.
Well, considering
Like
who I
these-
picked,
These don't. What do they count for? Is this like
This is the tiebreakers.
this is a tiebreaker?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
so you going to argue with me now for my pick?
No, I like.
No,
your
he
pick.
didn't
I
have a
just don't
dark.
think it
That's
was a
why he's
dark
asking,
horse.
what does it mean?
For a tiebreaker? If you got a chance to choose him or go choose Stephen Bodwich, who you
Sang
gonna
Moon
pick?
Bay?
Bowditch is not a bad pick.
I'm not saying he is, but if you got Jason Day against him, I'm betting the farm if it's my family's life.
Yeah, but a dark horse is supposed to be a dark horse.
Okay.
Not Dustin. Jason Day is not a dark horse. He is a top-ranked player.
I
Okay.
understand.
Okay. There's primarily nothing but top-ranked players in this
It's the
field.
top 50
Not
players in the world.
necessarily. There's a few that you didn't pick that would be required.
I could have went Matthew Fitzpatrick, but I didn't.
I could have gone Jimmy Walker, but I didn't.
That's true.
And we know why.
You want to take F-bomb and go Shane Lowry?
I honestly wasn't prepared to make a dark horse.
Well,
pick.
you got to make a
But
dark
since
horse.
you did, and since he did what he did, I'm going to take Spieth.
There you go.
Spieth.
Smart move, Professor.
Okay.
Very nice.
All right. Well done. Okay. So let's recap. George has got Dustin Johnson, Justin Rose, and Justin Thomas. Dark horse is Jamie Donaldson.
I think he has something
HR.
about Justin.
HR's got Johnson, Stinson, Rose, and Jason Day as a dark. Professor, Henrik Stenson, Bubba Watson, Danny Willett, might as well have been Luke Donald, and the dark horse Jordan Spieth. Is that everybody?
What's
All
your
right.
number?
Do what now?
What's your number?
Oh, my number. Oh, man. Wow. If the winds stay up the way they have,
If a frog had wings.
He
yeah,
wouldn't.
I'm going to go 14.
14 under.
Yeah.
You want me to go next?
Mm-hmm.
2.
Two under. Oh, I'm sorry. I wrote that under HR because it was his turn, actually.
No, I let him
All right,
go.
HR, go.
I'm going at 9.
9. Got it. Okay, so I've got 14. HR's got 9. And Professor has got Danny Willett at 2 under par.
I hope he
Good luck with that.
Under.
Good luck with that, Professor.
Oh, Lord help us.
Let's talk about some of the pairings. I mean, I'm waiting for this one to turn out to be an all-out fist fight, and there's reasons why. So, Patrick Reed with Brandon Grace and Sergio Garcia.
That's a good pairing. That is a good.
That's
pairing.
going to be that's some psychological emotions there, and all three of them kind of flapping into the wind. Somebody's going to hit up on somebody, or somebody's going to walk in front of somebody while they're hitting. That's going to be an interesting pairing, and they go off later in the day, so that'll be fun to kind of keep an eye on. Some of the other pairings I think will be somewhat attractive. I mean, Graham McDowell's just – where's he come from? G-Mac has been playing some golf, really has.
He's having a good year, but this course doesn't suit him. I don't.
No. I'm just saying, you
I
see
thought you were
him.
trying to change
You
one
see
of your
him in the
picks.
pairing. Oh no, I'm not changing, not at all.
Good.
If I do change one, I'm going with Charles Schwartzel. So, but you don't want me to go there because,
We'll-
frankly, everybody was scared of him.
We'll let you change.
No, that's fine.
Won't you let him change?
I'm good. I'm fine.
No.
I'm fine. The really marquee pairings. There's 2 of them today, of
Number
course.
10,
Starting on the 10th hole.
1143.
Yep. Justin Rose, Dustin Johnson, and Adam Scott are together. And then at 11:32 on the 10th hole, right in front of them, Jordan Spieth, Jason Day, Rory McIlroy. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 together. So
The Spieth, Day, and McIlroy group is the one that'll be followed the most, I can promise
I'm
you.
sure.
oh sure, absolutely.
Promise you.
Did you hear what Reimer said this morning about the elite field? What he thought would happen?
No, I'm sorry.
Basically, somebody will play real well, somebody will play mediocre, and somebody will play badly.
Okay.
That's ingenious.
How he came up with that, I have no clue.
No. He's talking about the top 3 players in the
Understand.
world.
Sure.
Just thought I'd throw that
You
out.
Wow.
pretty much just go look at the pairing. Somebody's going to play good. Somebody's going to play
attended-
okay, and somebody's going to play really bad.
Didn't he attend Tech at one time?
He attended that
Okay.
that
I'm not
mechanic
sure-
school
I'm
up
not
here in
sure-
Atlanta.
I'm
Yeah,
not
wow.
sure he finished, but he did
Yeah,
attend.
that farm equipment degree he got.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
working out real
Yeah.
well.
I had to.
Lord have mercy. Okay. Well, I mean, Rory, big announcement yesterday. It is frontline first header on many internet pages this morning. Rory goes cross-handed. Okay. What's the big freaking deal?
He's been trying it for quite some
He
time.
uses as a training.
Can I
He
say
does.
something just
Yeah,
from an
absolutely.
instructor and a player part of this? Now, and you know, I've got a lot of good friends that work at Nike that are part of that company. You're putting with a putter with 1.5 degrees aloft, and you're hitting up on a putt. Why do you think every left to right putt he hits misses right?
That's a good point.
Put 3.5 degrees aloft on it. Go on and do your thing, and it'll work. But with 1.5, it's like hitting off of a shear. It's just it's a flat face.
Right. Right.
It doesn't work.
Right.
I
But-
think the problem he'll have, I don't think it'll affect his short putts as much from 5 feet in.
Well, the longer putts. It took me. I
Longer
mean,
putts, it's tough to adjust to left-hand low,
it's tough. I've been doing it since '93.
and you still don't have it.
And I still don't have it. So thank you, Professor.
Well, I mean,
Well-
I grew up grabbing it that way, and my dad made me change because he thought it was the dumbest thing he'd ever seen,
Sure.
and that's old school.
Sure.
But I mean, naturally, grabbing something cross-handed is easy for me. But
Right.
you know, I think that with just you go play on the greens that they're playing in South Florida. You know, I don't care how fast they're rolling, firm they are, whatever. Of course, you know, grain doesn't affect a putt,
Right.
according to certain people. But
Right.
you've got grain. Oh, these aim point people
You don't-
say that
you don't-
grain doesn't affect a putt.
Don't get him started, please.
It's
Let's
the
just move
dumbest
on.
statement I've ever heard in my life.
Let's just move
I
on.
agree.
But-
we need to get Jimmy Biggs in here to talk about aim point. He's using it now.
Well, he can
Great.
use it all he wants, but if he says that right there, he will not have
He's
to
not the
worry.
one that said that.
No,
But I-
he's not. The guy
No.
out of
Yeah.
Macon said it.
No.
But grain is prevalent in South Florida.
Yes, it is.
Whether it's in the fairways, it's off the tee, or it's around the greens or on the green.
It's in the freaking wind.
I
Okay,
mean,
come on.
that's going to affect it. You better have 3.5, 4 degrees of loft on your putter, or you got no chance.
You got to get it on top and get it rolling.
Yeah, and you,
You
go
do.
hitting up on a putt, and it starts hopping.
Every ball
it's gonna
sits
look like
down
the
in the
Plinko
end.
board on The Price is Right.
Yep.
When you put that ball on that putting green, it's sitting in an indent. You got to get it out of it. Sorry.
I mean, and they can say what they want. We've got some great new grasses, but they all, ironically, are dwarfing back into Tiff Dwarf.
It's
And they
natural
have-
physics.
And that's what they have anyway, Tiff Dwarf at
They do.
Doral.
Tiff dwarf. That's correct.
And see, everything's morphitizing back to that. Even though it's a strand off of it, it's kind of regrouping and going back to that as
Back
it
to
gets
it,
older.
yeah.
After 7 years or so, that's basically what it is. So you're going to have grain. Yeah, it's going to be a little inconsistent because it kind of grows different directions according to runoff. So when you read a green in Florida or even here in South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, wherever, Texas, you better be reading where water runs off if you want to figure out where it's at. Because if you don't, you're going to hit a putt and think, oh, this thing goes left to right, and it's going to break 3 inches left. I mean, get some loft.
Well, it's amazing. I just sat and watched the hype and the hoopla over the last day and a half since he talked about going cross-handed during the press conference yesterday. And then finally somebody brought it up on Golf Channel. Well, hell, Jordan Spieth's #1 player in the world, and he's been cross-handing for years. You know? So what's the big deal? Really? Come on. If he feels comfortable, do it. If it
It's-
feels good, do it.
It's
You know?
almost like they want to find out what kind of underwear and socks they're wearing for crying out loud.
I know.
It's that stupid.
Thank you.
It's that
Thank
stupid.
you. Thank you.
You know?
You know, last week, oh my God, how is Sergio all of a sudden putting so well? He's using that claw. You know, he's using the pencil grip. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah, give me a break because the guy's supposed to be the best ball striker in the world, and he.
One of the most gorgeous women in the world just walked into the studio. Gentlemen, I'm done with y'all. I call it quits.
Well, it's my wife, so you better watch
Oh,
out before I
sorry.
shoot you.
Sorry.
And it's
Where's
my
my-
girlfriend, and I'll get upset with you.
Well, it's my mistress, and I can talk about her if I want to. How about that? Heather, when do you have time for anything else? TGD Radio, TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Digital Network for thegolfdirector.com. Be sure to check out our featured course pages where you'll find up-to-date information about course conditions, specials, much more. Need help with your next golfing vacation? Just call Dave. Give us a call right here at the Golf Director, 844-464-6531. All of our programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand. Just click on any TGD Radio or the TGD TV tabs. There's any of them. Did you know that? At thegolfdirector.com. You can find us on over 1 billion devices right here at iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Periscope, Catch.me, and, of course, Blueberry. For Professor Gene Weldon, the big loser last week. For Hugh Roy III, I'm George Honeycutt. We want to thank you so much for joining us. We want to thank Jeff behind the glass, but don't go anywhere. Be sure to come back because you'll hear about Gene losing again this week right here at thegolfdirector.com.
If he loses, it's all yours.
What was your